Host Andy Hauser. Today we're talking with Nellie Harris. And each episode we like to feature a resident who has impacted the lives of people living in this community. And we can't think of anybody that has impacted more people than a teacher. And today we get to talk with Miss Nellie Harris. It's an honor. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
You had an incredible teaching career that spanned decades. And when I say decades, 38 or 39?
39 and 1/2 years.
In 1/2 years.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Let's talk a little bit. I want to go way back because the point of this is to document who you are and who you were from the child on up into the adult woman that you are today and beyond. So let's talk. You are one of the few who we are interviewing who didn't grow up in Wilkes County. Talk to me about where you grew up.
I grew up in a very small town, Waxhaw, North Carolina. My parents were...
Episode of Wilkes Citizen. I'm your host, Andy Hauser. In each episode, we're going to meet a citizen from Wilkes County who has some colorful stories and colorful memories of what makes this county so special. Joining me today, we have Ann Apsher. Ann, it's a pleasure to get to see you again. How are you?
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here.
What was your first reaction when we called you and said, hey, we want you to come and be on a talk show?
I thought, well, they don't know anybody any older to call. That's exactly what I thought.
Which, you know, the funny thing is, I think part of the reason we did reach out to you is because you have such a interesting history that goes along with the county, and it goes back from your family days to you personally. I mean, for example, you worked really hard to make some changes to make the new courthouse a museum. Let's talk a little bit about that before we dig too deep into your past.
Okay. Well, my great-grandfather was on the county board when the museum or the courthouse was built. And of course that goes back a long, long way. And his Bible I still have, and it's on display at the museum. And of course it took an awful lot of money to get that museum to where it is. But it came together and we're proud of it. And he served, like I said, as a county commissioner. My husband served as a town commissioner. My granddaddy did, and my daddy did. So you know Wilkesboro means a lot to me and our family.
How much campaigning did you do for all of them?
I did a lot for my husband, and he led the ticket, and I'm the reason why.
That's darn right. Well, and back to the museum, when you took on that project, I mean, that was a tremendous amount of effort and love that went into that.
It was, but it took a lot.
You know, you were there, you lived it. The rest of us who weren't there, all we can hope for are these vivid stories to make parts of the town come back to life, and some of the buildings that have, you know, looked back at the past. And you know, Wilkesboro, I mean, how much has it changed since from what you remember?
Well, building-wise, of course, they've improved the looks of the building, but they're not about the same.
They are, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, about the same.
Yeah.
Not many new ones at all.
What movie theater did you go to? And I'm going back, but was it the Liberty? When you mentioned movies for a dime?
The Liberty and the Apple.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much, Ray, for coming
you're welcome.
in
Thank you
and
for having
talking with
me.
us. Oh, it was such a pleasure. I could listen to these stories all day.
To use my
Thank
left hand,
you
it's been a
so
pleasure, Andy.
much, guys. And again, these are the people right here that are the fabric of our community and have unique and interesting stories to tell. And again, we'll continue this series and hope that you'll join us next time. Thanks so much. Each episode, we focus on a citizen who is a pillar in this community, who has contributed something that has made a difference and made this county of Wilkes what it is. Today, we're talking to Pete Lovett. Of course, when you hear the Lovett name, it's synonymous with Holly Farms, huge industry here in this neck of the woods. Pete, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
First, before we delve in, I want to know, what was your reaction when we asked you to be on a local talk show here in Wilkesboro?
I told Mike I would think about it and let him know. Mike Enscore, our mayor, who's a very good friend of mine, asked me to take the list of 20 questions, look it over, and see if you would be interested in recording for us your opinions of where the county is today and where it was in years back. I've only lived here most of my 82 years, and so I just jumped at the chance, and I'm glad to be here.
Oh, we're thrilled to have you again. I mean, your family has had a huge influence
Well,
on
thank you.
this county, and it's great to sort of record that history, and that's
Right.
sort of what we're doing here today. And when I say record history, we're going to go way back. You know,
Sounds good.
If you're fine with that.
Sounds good.
Okay, good.
My
So
memory's better way back than it is today.
funny how that happens.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Well, let's talk about, when I say go way back, let's talk about your childhood. I mean, let's go ahead and start there. Let's start with like favorite childhood memories. What do you remember?
Well, I'd say that the thing that came to my mind was my first trip to New York City in 1946. I was 12 years old on a
Once I started going out, and the more I was out, you just find it so calming to be out on the water. You know, it's so relaxing.
Meet Heather Thomas. She's a stand-up paddleboard or SUP yoga instructor with HTL Yoga. And this is her dog, Gracie, who's always eager to hit the water. And why not? It's a fun and relaxing way to tone and strengthen your body, whether you have 4 legs or 2.
There's a lot of legs, you know, starting from the lats to the glutes, all the way down into the calves, even your feet.
SUP Yoga offers a full-body, low-impact workout that just about anyone can enjoy. It took me just a minute to stand up and begin paddling.
Beginners do well learning on the paddleboard or even the indoor boards, as we kind of talked about, because they have this opportunity to learn how to really place their hands and feet so they're balanced in a posture.
As we paddled along Eagle Creek Reservoir, Heather and her friend Amanda explained that SUP Yoga can adjust to your skill level. If you're an expert, that means yoga handstands. If you're a novice, it means you shouldn't try everything you see. The idea is to stay on the board. So the technique of yoga itself has been around for about 5,000 years. Paddleboarding, not quite as long, but this combination of yoga and paddleboarding, how long is this going to float around?
I think we're just seeing the tip of it. It's just beginning, you know, and we're going to see this for quite a long time.
On a hot day, a little dip in the water does feel good, but what about when fall arrives, bringing much cooler temperatures?
It's no different than any other sport you might do. I mean, because you can trail run in the winter just like you can trail run in the summer, right? And so it's just how you dress differently for it, how you might put different protection on. You don't necessarily have to fall in, you know, you might, but you always have that chance.
Heather's right. You don't have to fall in, and you don't have to try that hard to have fun out there.
Awesome.
Wish TV's commitment to your great health is in partnership with
Pain is temporary, quitting is forever. And so that's one thing when I sit down there and it's really hard and I just can't imagine getting up and going through the next checkpoint. That's one thing that I always tell myself, that you don't really want to quit.
Musher Catherine Keith is an Ironman athlete with the heart of a lion and no stranger to competition. She might be tough as nails when competing solo, but bring her dog team into the mix, and her concern and love for them is easy to see.
We don't want to burn them out. We want to make sure that they're having a good time. And so for those guys, I'm going to be watching them carefully. And when they start to fatigue or start to show signs of not really enjoying it, then I'm just going to let them stay at the checkpoints.
Here at the official start of the Iditarod in Willow, it's all about preparation and anticipation, and Catherine Keith, rookie this year, is excited about heading out there and taking on that 1,049 miles from Willow to Nome.
You know, for us, this is what we relate to in Alaska, and we understand the challenges of what it takes to get from one village to the next, and to do that with dogs in a way that's so, like, inherently Alaska.
In true Iditarod form, Catherine carefully readies her team, securing harnesses and placing booties in her signature style, of course. Her race plan, well, that's already in place.
We're just going to stick with our plan and be conservative and take the team slow and be cautious, and I think it's going to pull out, end up being okay for us.
She certainly has the support of her biggest fan, Amelia, her 10-year-old daughter.
I really hope that she's going to make it through okay, which I know she is because she's awesome and she's really tough.
As other dog teams head to the start line for their individual start time, Catherine's mother pets the lead dog, Ears, and she proudly talks about the musher that is her daughter.
Words can't describe her. She is wonderful. She's adventurous. She is so kind and loving. I'm proud.
3, 2, 1, go! No matter how far into Alaska or what village she stops to rest her dogs, Catherine will never be far from the hearts of her mother and daughter.
Well, you met my mom and my daughter, so they're a big part of my support system. So I'm definitely going to be thinking about them.
As Catherine leaves Willow to start her journey, we can't help but wish we each had a little more of the adventurous spirit that drives Catherine and her beloved dogs. Inside the Boys and Girls Club of Zionsville, on a gleaming basketball court, boys and girls are playing a game. Maybe not the one you'd first expect. These kids are learning about hockey.
Our motto, play healthy, play hockey. Get out, be active, enjoy the summer, just have fun, we love it.
Matt Elias is an intern with the Indiana Ice and helps with the Play Healthy, Play Hockey program. This is a free program that pops up around the Indianapolis area through the spring, summer, and fall months, all to help encourage the growth of hockey in the central Indiana area.
If just one of them falls in love with the sport, then our job's done for the day. I would love it if that would happen. It'd be incredible.
While learning about hockey, the kids are also learning about the importance of making healthy lifestyle choices, ways to stay physically active, plus the importance of teamwork.
My team is like working together.
Working together means fun and lots of movement.
With hockey, you're constantly moving your feet, your arms, so there's a lot of muscular movement and it's a lot of physical activity.
Play healthy,
play hockey.
Now, what the kids don't know is for every half hour of hockey they play, they're burning between 350 and 700 calories. But that's not why they're playing.
It's fun.
With gear and supervision, it's a healthy and safe way for kids to get exercise with loads of enthusiasm.
We bring everything that they need, and all we need are the kids.
All the kids need is a little positive encouragement to stay active. For longtime hockey fans like Matt and the newest little hockey fans, it's a win-win.
Play healthy, play hockey.
Oh! You guys okay? Andy Hauser for Great Health, Indie Style, and Wish TV.
Wish TV.